Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Yahud, your place for classic comic stories. Today's episode, Tintin and the Broken Ear, Chapter 7. Let's dive in. Ramon, still overwhelmed, is assisted by Alonso as he tries to regain his composure. Alonso gently guides him to sit down, hoping to calm his distress. As Ramon attempts to sit, he lets out a piercing yow after unknowingly landing on pillow of needles. Alonso beside him looks on in shock, realizing the mishap. Meanwhile, Tintin confronts a kneeling man, demanding answers about who orchestrated the plot against him. The man reveals it was Rodriguez, Mr. Trickler's right-hand man. Tintin stands over a kneeling man, offering forgiveness with an air of authority, while the man pledges lifelong servitude and gratitude. Walking away from the scene, Tintin expresses genuine belief in the man's sincerity, while Snowy warns him against being too trusting of such characters. A few days later, Tintin learns that General Alcazar has made a full recovery and is currently engaged in a conversation with Mr. Trickler. This meeting sparks curiosity about the nature of their discussion and its impact on Tintin's ongoing quest. Mr. Trickler lays out a cunning proposal to General Alcazar, suggesting that by declaring war on Nuevo Rico, they can profit by annexing the oil fields. Trickler assures Alcazar that his company will benefit greatly, while Alcazar's country receives a significant portion, leaving room for personal gains. General Alcazar agrees to the plan, shaking hands with Trickler and acknowledging the neatness of the arrangement. Trickler expresses his confidence in their mutual understanding, sealing the deal with a handshake. As they part ways, Trickler warns Alcazar against trusting Colonel Tintin, casting doubt on his loyalty. He leaves the suggestion hanging, implying there is more he could say but chooses not to. Tintin is greeted by Mr. Trickler as he walks through a door, who informs him that the general is expecting him. Tintin, with Snowy at his side, acknowledges the message with a nod, feeling the weight of what lies ahead. Entering the room, Tintin exchanges pleasantries with General Alcazar, expressing relief to see him well. However, the general's abrupt question interrupts, leaving Tintin momentarily unsettled. Tintin observes the general's stern demeanor and comments on his mood in a hushed tone. Meanwhile, the general orders an officer to send someone in, leaving Tintin and Snowy waiting in suspense. On general hand, he holds a card that reads, Basil Bazarov, Corrupt Arms GmbH. Meanwhile, a man in a green coat and hat approaches with a confident stride, carrying a yellow briefcase. The man greets General Alcazar with a firm handshake, his voice smooth as he explains he was passing through and wanted to show off new models. Alcazar listens intently, his eyes keen with interest as he sizes up the visitor. Sitting at a table, the man enthusiastically describes a new line of weaponry, highlighting the impressive capabilities of a 75 TRGP model. General Alcazar examines the plans closely, while Tintin watches from the background, absorbing every detail with growing concern. In a dimly lit room, Alonso reads a newspaper aloud, detailing a skirmish between Nuevo Rican soldiers and guards at the border of San Theodoros, which resulted in heavy losses for the Nuevo Ricans. Ramon listens intently from the bed, his expression shifting to one of concern as he contemplates the implications of the conflict. Outside, a man in a green coat and hat approaches a car, instructing the driver to head to the airport. The driver, dressed in a white coat, nods in acknowledgement, preparing to depart. Having arrived at the bustling airport, the man in the green coat strides purposefully alongside a pilot, announcing their destination as the capital of Nuevo Rico, San Facian. The pilot, in a sharp blue uniform, responds affirmatively, ready to embark on their journey. A vibrant yellow plane gracefully soars above the airport marked Los Topicos, its engines humming with purpose as it embarks on its journey. The buildings below shrink against the lush landscape, hinting at the distant destination awaiting them. Inside a cozy office, a woman diligently types as an elderly man reviews a document concerning an arms deal with San Theodoros. Their expressions reveal the gravity of the transaction, each keystroke echoing the weight of the decision. Meanwhile, the aircraft approaches its destination, San Facian, visible below, promising new developments in the unfolding journey. The airport bustles with activity, ready to greet the incoming flight and its intriguing passengers. A man in a green coat instructs a driver to take him to General Mogadar's palace, clutching a yellow suitcase and a cane. The driver acknowledges with a salute, ready to assist him on his important mission. Upon arriving at the palace, the man steps out of the car and approaches the entrance, guarded by two stern soldiers in formal attire. His steps are steady as he walks past them, his destination clear. Half an hour later, the man reappears with the same resolute expression, the guards watching him pass by once more. His journey through the palace seems to have been eventful, leaving him deep in thought. The man gives a decisive command to the driver to return to the airport, his mind clearly set on a new course of action. The driver nods in agreement, ready to follow his instructions without hesitation. A sleek yellow plane takes off into the sky, catching the attention of two onlookers at the airfield. One of them identifies it as Senor Bazarov's private plane, hinting at the importance of its journey. Inside the plane, a woman diligently types a document, detailing a significant arms deal for Nuevo Rico. Seated comfortably, the older man talking intently, his gaze fixed as he contemplates the implications of the agreement. A bright yellow plane descends gracefully over a grassy airstrip, its engines humming as a well-dressed man observes, noting its swift return to Los Topicos. Beside him, a military officer stands with arms crossed, their eyes following the plane's descent with great interest. As the plane lands, a man in a green coat exits, greeted by Mr. Trickler eagerly awaiting news. All done, he declares, handing over a document, and adds a cryptic note about a solution for Colonel Tintin, leaving his companion intrigued. In a shadowy room, two masked figures discuss a plan involving a time bomb set to detonate at 11 the next morning. The urgency of their mission is clear as one pledges, liberty or death, determined to succeed. The next morning, a concerned Mr. Trickler hands General Alcazar a letter, warning him about Colonel Tintin's potential betrayal. The letter reveals a secret exchange of plans involving Colonel Tintin and the government of San Theodoros. The mention of an agreed fee adds a layer of suspicion to Tintin's involvement. Enraged by the revelation, General Alcazar erupts, branding Tintin a traitorous spy and vowing retribution. His anger is palpable as he slams the letter onto the desk, scattering papers and unsettling the official. General Alcazar, his voice brimming with authority, barks orders over the phone to Colonel Juanitos, directing him to arrest Tintin immediately. Mr. Trickler, wiping his brow nervously, listens intently, aware of the stakes involved. Meanwhile, a man in a wide-brimmed hat checks the plan for an explosion set for 11 a.m., only to realize his watch has stopped. Panic flickers across his face as he grapples with the malfunction at this critical moment. Determined to correct the error, he approaches a street clock on Calle del Sol, aligning his watch with the correct time. His movements are swift and precise, reflecting the urgency of his task. Tintin stands nervously, adjusting his uniform as a sharp knock echoes through the room. He takes a deep breath, responding to the knock with a firm invitation to enter. As the door swings open, Colonel Juanitos stands tall in his military attire, greeting Tintin with a formal nod. Tintin attempts a cordial greeting, masking his underlying tension. Colonel Juanitos hesitantly informs Tintin of the shocking order he received to arrest him. Tintin's face pales with disbelief, his voice trembling as he questions the unexpected turn of events. Tintin, still reeling from the news, overhears an official instructing workers to reset the municipal clocks after a power cut. There's an urgency in the air as the workers prepare to carry out their task, unaware of the chaos that might follow. Nearby, a mysterious figure in a large hat clutches a small box, muttering about having time to deposit his fireworks. His intentions seem dubious, adding to the tension as he makes his way through the streets. The man, revealed to be Corporal Diaz, seethes with anger as he vows revenge on General Alcazar for his demotion. His words carry a dangerous promise, hinting at the turmoil that his actions might unleash. A city worker adjusts the hands of a large street clock, while a Corporal Diaz in a wide-brimmed hat stops to observe curiously. The worker's focused attention on the clock contrasts with the passerby's puzzled expression. As Corporal Diaz continues on their way, they glance back at the clock, visibly startled by the new time displayed. Their hurried steps reflect a growing concern over the clock that points 11. Inside a commanding office, General Alcazar issues orders with a grave expression, detailing the fate of Colonel Tintin and the reinstatement of Corporal Diaz. The words hang heavily as the official's aide listens intently, aware of the significant implications. A powerful explosion rocks the environment, scattering debris and a clock into the air, the loud boom echoing with a sense of chaos. Amidst the turmoil, pieces of a hat and shoes fly off, marking the scene with a sense of destruction. Following the explosion, Tintin finds himself back in a dimly lit cell, expressing his suspicion that Trickler orchestrated this predicament to eliminate him. Snowy stands loyally by his side, sharing the confined space as Tintin leans against the wall, contemplating his next move. Tintin peers out of the narrow cell window, realizing the daunting challenge of escaping the tall, imposing prison. The walls loom high, guarded diligently, leaving him to ponder a plan for freedom. As night falls, Tintin sits on the edge of his bed, deeply troubled by the lack of an escape plan, while Snowy looks up at him with concern. Desperation seeps into his thoughts as he mutters about the need to find a way out. Suddenly, his attention is caught by a peculiar noise, and he turns to see an arrow with a note attached flying through the barred window. Snowy barks in surprise as Tintin leaps to his feet, eyes wide with astonishment. Tintin hurriedly retrieves the note, his heart racing as he reads the urgent message it contains. Snowy watches intently, sensing the shift in mood as Tintin uncovers a potential key to their escape. The note urges Tintin to pull up a string attached to a rope and prepare for an escape through the window. Tintin's determination grows as he realizes the plan might work if executed perfectly. Tintin, with bated breath, watches as the rope appears through the barred window, a whisper of hope in the air. His voice trembles slightly as he acknowledges its arrival, knowing it's their lifeline to freedom. With the rope secured, Tintin looks out at the daunting height of the tower, a silent challenge in the dim light. The rope dangles down the stone wall, a bridge between captivity and the world beyond. Nearby, two men in sombreros are ready with a tractor, preparing to pull the rope on Tintin's signal. The engine hums to life as they brace themselves for action. The rope is taut, stretching from the tractor to the bars of Tintin's prison window, hope and freedom intertwined in its fibers. Tintin's eyes focus on the knot, willing it to hold as the tension increases. Suddenly, with a thunderous crash, the wall gives way, sending bricks tumbling down. Tintin, startled but unharmed, stands amidst the rubble, his path to escape now clear. Emerging from the crumbling wall, Tintin holds Snowy tightly, calling out for help and urging for a quick escape. The urgency in his voice reflects the danger they are in as he prepares to leap into the unknown below. With determination, Tintin leaps from the wall, clutching Snowy close to his chest as they fall through the air. The wind rushes past them, and the ground approaches rapidly, creating a moment of pure tension. Tintin lands safely in a blanket held by a group of men, their expressions a mix of relief and surprise. Despite the jarring fall, Tintin quickly regains his composure, grateful for the unexpected assistance. Quickly regaining his footing, Tintin races alongside Pablo, who urges him to hurry because the alarm has been raised. Tintin, with sincere gratitude, promises Pablo he will never forget his help as Snowy runs alongside them, eager to keep up. As they sprint across the open ground, shadows of men give chase, their shouts echoing ominously. Gunfire erupts behind them, adding a dangerous urgency to their escape. Reaching a ladder, Tintin begins to climb with Snowy in his arms, while Pablo provides cover, firing back at their pursuers. Come, quickly. Pablo insists, his voice strained with urgency as bullets sing past them. Dashing through the alleys, Tintin and his companion make a desperate escape, the sound of gunfire echoing behind them. Take no notice. They shoot like a bunch of drunks, Pablo beside him shouts, exuding a reckless confidence as Snowy scurries alongside them. Reaching a vehicle parked in the shadows, Pablo hands him the keys, advising him to drive to safety by tomorrow noon. Don't worry about me, he assures Tintin with a firm grip on his shoulder, I've covered my tracks. Goodbye, Senor Tintin. Tintin clasps his friend's hand tightly, expressing his gratitude and promising to remember his kindness. The man, with a warm smile, responds, it is nothing, senor. I haven't forgotten that day you spared my life. Tintin drives swiftly through the quiet, shadowed streets in a vibrant red car, his expression focused and determined as the buildings silently witness his passage. Meanwhile, a disheveled General Alcazar grips a telephone, his face flushed with anger as he shouts threats, demanding swift action to recapture Tintin who has managed to escape. Soldiers stand alert on the street, silhouetted against the night sky, raising their arms to halt any vehicle passing through as Tintin's car approaches. Tintin, gripping the steering wheel tightly, decides he can't simply charge through the soldiers, opting instead for caution and planning to stop the car. As Tintin's car slows, the soldiers unexpectedly step aside, allowing him to proceed while he breathes a sigh of relief and urges himself onward. Just as Tintin makes his way past, the soldiers suddenly realize his identity, exclaiming in surprise and recognition as they watch him drive away. A soldier urgently reports over the phone, informing his superior that Tintin has been spotted heading south in a car. The General Alcazar's expression turns fierce as he demands Tintin be captured dead or alive, setting off a tense pursuit. The soldiers rush into action, leaping into a military vehicle, their determination evident as they prepare to chase Tintin down. The vehicle roars to life, speeding down the road as the soldiers clutch their weapons, ready for confrontation. As dawn breaks the next morning, a red car drives across the open countryside, its driver seemingly at ease with music playing softly. The peaceful morning contrasts sharply with the previous night's urgency, as the vehicle leaves a trail of dust behind it. Suddenly, a green military vehicle roars into view, packed with uniformed men pointing ahead with urgency. Their intent is clear as they shout, directing their attention towards something in the distance. The soldiers identify their target and shout to open fire, unleashing a barrage of bullets from the moving vehicle. The air fills with the sound of gunfire as they pursue relentlessly. Tintin, startled, grips the steering wheel of his red car as a bullet cracks the windshield. Snowy, beside him, barks in alarm as they speed away from the danger. Tintin exclaims in alarm that he's being followed as the car speeds across a rocky terrain. The crack in the windshield stands as a stark reminder of the danger they're trying to escape. With determination, Tintin drives the red car across the desolate landscape, his eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of pursuit. The vast emptiness around him offers no comfort, only the endless stretch of road ahead. Thanks for watching Comic Yahad. Like, subscribe, and catch you in the next chapter.